Whether you're looking for a new job or not, networking is a huge part of being a professional.
Michaela Schell is here to give us some advice on how to get started. Thank you so much for being back on the show with us today. So I guess I want to start with why is knowing how to network so important?
Well, I think there's a big misconception that people think the only people who need to network are maybe business owners or business professionals looking for a sale or a new client or things like that. But really networking, everybody should know how to do it a little bit, because what networking does is it opens new doors to opportunities. People are the ones who hold opportunities, hold new things going on in the community or for themselves. And the more people you know, the more opportunities come your way.
And so a lot of people, they might be nervous and they're like, well, how do I get started? What do I do? Do I just go up to random people and say, hi, my name's Jordan? Or, how do we get this started for people?
Right. Well, I have two tips for you today. And the first one revolves right around that. You said you get kind of nervous or awkward. That's what most people, they go into a situation like that, a party, an event, whatever it would be. And it's that uncomfortable feeling of, what do I say to a person? So my first tip is really simple. Don't think of it as networking. Just think of it as going in and building a relationship. We've all done that hundreds of times, right? We've built lots of relationships every day in and out. So go in, let that networking, the idea of having to have a perfect pitch or a perfect, poise and attitude and everything on point, just go in and start a conversation.
Build a relationship. That doesn't sound as scary as networking.
It's less intimidating, for sure.
Okay, what's number two?
So my second tip, if this is the only thing that you do while you're networking, you'll be successful, in my opinion. And that is to ask questions of that other person. Because again, we think we have to go in and have this 30-second elevator pitch perfect. But if you ask questions, it's going to do a few things. One, it takes that pressure off of you, so you don't have to feel that anxiety, right? You can ask questions of a person all day long. It's really natural to have a conversation. And two, it builds relationship anchor points. So you find out things that you maybe have in common, you learn new things about them, and they're little anchor points in that new relationship that you're starting that you can build off of. And that really creates a trusting relationship really, really quickly. And then finally, asking questions makes that other person feel really valued, right? You're interested in them. We always talk about, people will forget what you say, but they won't forget how you make them feel. So, usually when you're networking, you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 if you're lucky. When they walk away from that, you want them to remember you. And if you made them feel valued and you were really interested in them, you're going to stick with them, for weeks to come. So when you see them again at another event, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember those relationship anchor points that you kind of built, those things you had in common, and want to come back to you and continue building that relationship.
And I think a big part of that is just being true to yourself too, not trying to be someone else.
Authenticity is important. Again, takes that pressure off, and people like you for you. We can tell from a mile away when somebody's not being themselves or being fake. So being yourself, if you're funny, be funny. If you're shy, you can be reserved. It's okay to be you.
And so anyone can follow these. Some people might think, well, I know you said you don't have to be in sales, but some people are just very intimidated by the start of this whole process. And maybe they think they would like to do something like you do Rodan and Fields. They think, I'd like to do something like that, but I could never sell anything.
Right. And I think, again, it goes back to that building the relationship piece. If you're a good networker, you're not out to, you don't go to an event and try to sell your product. You go to an event to meet people, and maybe you have something you can offer them, maybe they have something that they can offer you. And more often than not, when you're networking, you're not going to say, hey, I'm so-and-so with this company, and they're going to say, hey, I need to buy this from you. That's not going to happen in those first 5 minutes, right? It happens after you build that relationship, you build trust. You actually say, oh, I know Lisa, and yeah, I do want to recommend her to you for this thing. But it usually takes time. So going into that with that long game in mind of, I want to build this relationship, get to know people, have them get to know me, usually is more effective than coming in with a pitch or a sales or something like that.
Michaela, great advice. I love it. You make it sound very easy.
Thank you.
Build a relationship. Thank you. All right, coming up on North Dakota Today, what the smart move is when it comes to your tax refund.